Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new video here on Ark Survival Evolved. Today, we have a brand new video for you. We are going to do the top 10 tames on any map for Primal Fear. Hopefully you'll enjoy this video. If you do, go ahead and press that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and let's get into the countdown. Okay, so coming in at number 10, nope, not the turtle, go away, trying to make a video. Coming in at number 10 is the Toxic Dodo. I know, they're dodos. They can't be that great, right? But these will be essential in your Primal Fear playthroughs. The reason being, they are the easiest way to get toxic eggs, which you'll need to make the kibble for alpha. Another great aspect about these is they're a very easy tame, very early tame that you can possibly get, and they'll help you because of the fact that they can, since they're toxic, put creatures to sleep. But, well, he did too much damage to that one. Come back here, you. Okay, so as you saw, this apex is now asleep because of the dodo. Granted, you know, normally an apex would probably do too much damage to the dodo, but it just depends on your levels and all of that. So this is why the dodo comes in at number 10 for us. Okay, so for number 9, I introduce to you, dun dun dun, the Fabled Ankylosaur. Isn't she pretty? Or he pretty? So the reason the Fabled Ankylo is number 9 is because he's really fast. He drops fabled eggs, which you'll need for kibble. And he is a great harvester. This is mostly going to be a utility dino. However, because he's fabled, he can hold his own against most alpha apex creatures. So to be a good tame. One thing to note though is if you get too close to a fabled creature, they will aggro you regardless of whether or not they are, well, an herbivore. So you have to be careful about that. But coming in at number 9 is definitely the Ankylo, Fabled Ankylo. Simply because there's no better utility. Okay, and now on to number 8. For number 8, we have the Electric Megaraptor. Now there are 4 different variants. There's electric, fire, caustic, and ice. Each one of them have their own benefits. The Electric Megaraptor, though, can stun its targets. Which makes it easy for this kind of attacking. They are also the fastest flyer, especially if you put points into their movement speed. They're a little bit squishy, so you do have to be careful not to get hit by something, but they can easily take on creatures that are much stronger than them just because of the fact that they can stay out of their hit range. And so with that, they become pretty much a necessity within Primal Fear. They are super fast. Not much more else to them. You'll definitely want to pick up one of these guys. You have to use the elemental kibble, obviously, but definitely worth it. Alright, and on to the next. Okay. Number 7 comes in with the Apex Thylacoleo. Thylacoleo? However you might want to say that. The reason I chose this one for number 7 is because this is one of the strongest small animals that you can get. So they'll be useful for caves and stuff like that. They also do pretty good damage, and they're obviously very well at harvesting from dead dinos. They're also pretty speedy. I haven't really put any points into this guy, but you can put them in a cryopod, take them into a cave, and complete all your cave adventures. And they're a lot of fun. Obviously, you know from the vanilla game that they can be used to climb up walls, cliffs, stuff like that. Makes them very versatile. So that is why the Thylacoleo of the Apex variety comes in at number 7. And they're just so much fun to go around just randomly killing stuff. Oh, look here, we have a giant Moschops. Who happens to be faster than me. Alright, well, let's move on to the next. Alright, so coming in at number 6 is going to be the demonic Daeodon. Doesn't he look awesome? Okay, so with the demonic Daeodon, obviously they're really buffed up. They do quite a bit of damage. They're also super fast. They have flame breath, which is very nifty. And of course, they have their healing, which is why they are the best out of all of the regular demonic creatures, and why they've earned a spot at number 6. You can also power up the demonic Daeodon, which makes it go into this raging fire mode. It'll do more damage, which is nice, but the main benefit of this is if you run into any other demonic creatures, it will prevent them from lighting you, the rider, on fire. Especially useful going against like the demonic thorny dragon that targets you directly. Alright, well, let's move on to the top 5. Alright, so now we're getting to it. So for number 5, we have the Elemental Griffin. I prefer the Dark Griffin just because of how amazing it looks. But as you know, Griffins, they have their standard ability. They're very fast because of the fact that you can dive, like so. They also do a fire attack, or rather a dark attack, like so. But the main reason that these guys are number 5, you can shoot off of their backs while they're flying, which makes for easier tames. As long as you don't jump off like that. So when you're going up against, you know, allosaurs that are celestial or anything like that, you can easily stay out of range and tame them, which makes it a whole lot easier, and why this dino is pretty much essential within Primal Fear, because you don't want to be running around when there's a bunch of apexes and alphas or celestials and demonics. You'd rather be up in the air, safe. Alright, so let's move on to number 4. Alright, so now we have number 4. For number 4, I chose the Apex Phoenix. isn't it a beaut? The great thing about the Apex Phoenix is that, well, it's a fire flyer, which means it will transform your meat and stuff into cooked meat. It'll also smelt metal on the go. But this is one of the most damaging creatures in the air. Let's just find something over here. So we have an instant attack, which we can do with right click. And look at those numbers. But that's really not all. Let's find something else. Oh, here's a thing here. And now we'll press the C attack. This takes a little bit though. We'll do the spin. And it does mega damage. This thing is great for taking on primals or even Indominuses, Apex Indominuses, anything like that that doesn't have a ranged attack. It is quite squishy, so it can die pretty easily, but overall it is a powerhouse, and that's why I chose the Apex Phoenix as number 4. Okay, so coming in at number 3, we have our first large predator, the Apex Indominus Rex. What a scary looking creature. In reality though, they're not actually that hard to get. All you have to do is find them in the wild and wait for something to attack them. When they take enough damage, they will drop an egg, and then you just have to hatch the egg, and you have your own Apex Indominus Rex. The reason this creature is number 3 is because you're going to have so much fun with this. I promise you that. They do mega damage. Mega damage. But they're also very tanky, and they have regen. So if you're getting beat up or whatever, you will constantly regen to mitigate the damage. So that, what do we have here? Ah, bye Deathworm. Yeah, these guys just wreck. So that is why they are number 3. And it is time for number 2, which brings us to the bigger brother of these in Apex Indominus Rex, the Celestial Indominus Rex. Now the only way to get this is by defeating the Celestial Indominus Rex in the wild, or creating the summoner and killing it. It'll then drop a tameable version that you can summon. So it does take a bit of work to get to this, but oh, it's so worth it. He has a flame breath that does mega damage. He also has a burst that, as you can see, shreds. It also stuns the target if it hits them. Let's see if I can get these guys with it. Nope. Okay. Well, we're just gonna flame breath these guys then. These guys do mega damage. Also, you can power them up, just like the demonics and the other celestials. When you do so, of course, it makes their damage much more if you hit. So let's see. Let's go over here and boop. Just tons of damage. These guys are definitely amazing. They also have the regen, which is very helpful. So you'll use these for a lot of boss fights and stuff. Alright, well, with that being said, I think it's time to get to number 1. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our number 1. And today, for number 1, my choice is the Demonic Reaper Empress. giant fire reaper. Now, she's a bit slower than the Celestial Indominus Rex. However, she is much more tanky. She takes reduced damage, which is especially good against Origins. I haven't leveled her up at all, so her damage is about the same as a Celestial. Once you actually leveled him up, she has multiple attacks. She has Flame Breath. She is just overall an amazing dino to have with Primal Fear. She's very hard to get though. You cannot use the Celestials to kill her. You have to use a demonic creature. I would suggest for that, obviously, the demonic Daeodon or any of the demonic variety to protect against her fire. But it will be a very long fight because of the reduced damage she takes. Overall though, this Empress is definitely my #1 in any situation. You'll definitely want to use her against the Creator and any other bosses that you fight. Okay, well that is our top 10 best taming dinos in Primal Fear. We went all the way from the lovely toxic Dodo here, all the way down to the Reaper Empress. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and press that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you'd like to see more of these, leave a comment. Let me know what you'd like me to do more top 10s on. Really had a lot of fun doing it. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.